Now, ladies and gentlemen, for the Dallas Cowboys, on offense at center in his 14th year, number 64 from Penn State, Tom Rafferty. At left tackle, number 71 from Hawaii, Mark Tuanei. At left guard, number 61 from Florida A&M, Nate Newton. At right guard, number 68 from Florida, Crawford Kerr. At right tackle, number 66 from Washington, Kevin Gogan. At tight end, number 85 from Utah, Steve Folsom. At wide receiver, number 83 from Boston College, Kelvin Martin. At wide receiver, number 88 from Miami, Michael Irvin. At fullback, number 39 from Baylor, Broderick Sargent. At running back, number 34 from Georgia, Herschel Walker. And at quarterback, number 8 from UCLA, Troy Aikman. And Coach Jimmy Johnson and the rest of the Dallas Cowboys squad.
So the decision has been made, the question answered. It could not have been an easy decision for Jimmy Johnson. Troy Aikman will start at quarterback. The point I was making, Drew, about the Oilers coming off that win against the LA Raiders last week, they held the ball almost 42 minutes.
Well, you can do that with that. They don't call it the run and shoot offense. They call it the red gun offense. It's just a version of the run and shoot. But they use those 4 wide receivers, and it's a tough offense. They're missing quite a few.
Dallas Cowboys, and they have been revamped and revitalized. A lot of enthusiasm. They've shown a lot of spunk in the preseason thus far. RUZEK is all set, and we're underway. This kick will go through the end zone for a touchback. Kenny Johnson could not handle it. So they'll bring it out and Rod Harris. Hill is still a holdout. Rozier is not in camp. Alonzo Highsmith, the lone setback on first down for Houston. Moon. Incomplete. It was intended for Leonard Harris, and he couldn't hold on. Take a look at that offensive talent for the Oilers. Warren Moon is the quarterback. The running backs, Pinkett and Highsmith. The wide receivers, as we mentioned, Matthews and Steinkuhler. Don Maggs moves up and replaces Bruce Davis at that left tackle spot. He pulled a pectoral muscle lifting weights this past week. Second down and 10. Highsmith gets back to the line of scrimmage and not much more. Kenny Norton on the tackle. The defensive lineup, Ed Jones, Willie Broughton, Danny Noonan, and Jim Jeffcoat up front for Dallas. Burton Lockhart and Ken Norton are the linebackers, and they've been active for Jimmy Johnson. Everson Walls, Robert Williams, Ray Horton, and Billy Bates, the longtime veteran at strong safety. Third down and 10 for Houston. 4 wide receivers for the Oilers. Moon, with pressure in the middle, throws and has the first down. Harris makes the catch at the 32. It'll be a first down for Houston.
The Warren back coach learned the system, not the quarterback learning the new system.
First down, Houston. Moon sets up behind tackle, throws over the middle, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Eugene Lockhart.
Tim, a great play by Eugene Lockhart. Looked like he's beat on the play, but Warren Moon just doesn't get enough on that pass, and Gene Lockhart just stretches out, lays out for the ball, and does a nice job with all that tape on his hand to make the catch and bring it in as he hit the turf.
Cowboys playing a lot more zone this year.
Yeah, they need that because they just don't have the personnel to play that man, and with the type of defenses they're running now, they're more suited to play zone.
Herschel Walker and Broderick Sargent are the setbacks for Aikman. On first down, Aikman goes up top. Folsom could not hold on. Eugene Seal was within a tackle, but Kevin Gogan is back tonight. Second down and 10 at the 49 for Aikman. As time throws complete to Herschel Walker, who breaks the tackle out into Houston territory and stretches down to the 46. Defending Jerry Glanville wants to take a long look at him. 6 defensive backs for Houston. 3rd and 5 at the 46. Aikman drills it to the 29. Steve Brown makes the tackle there. They'll mark it at the 27-yard line. Pickup of 18.
Houston in the man-to-man defense all the way, and Troy Aikman is looking for Michael Irvin, his read on the play, and Irvin gets a nice release, fakes the guy upfield, takes it inside, gets the first down. See it? Notice that pass, Troy Aikman just put it right on the numbers. Nice throw.
Cowboys started with excellent field position after Eugene Lockhart's interception of Warren Moon. First down and 10 Cowboys at the 28. Walker on the reverse. This is Irvin to the 25 and knocked out of bounds at the 16.
Tim, that's one play the Cowboys have not shown so far in the preseason, was a reverse to the flanker coming around, taking a handoff from Herschel Walker. And Michael Irvin just comes around. You see Troy Aikman trying to get in there to throw a block. Get out of there, Troy. Let somebody else throw those blocks. You're too valuable. 12-yard gain for Michael Irvin.
That is a high-priced blocker. First down at the 16 for Dallas. This is Sargent. And he loses a couple. To just 9 total yards in the first half last week, so the Cowboys have well exceeded that already. Second down and 12, the ball at the 18. Aikman with plenty of time across the middle to Walker. Herschel Walker inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Again, it was Bubba McDowell on the tackle.
Nice job by the Cowboy offensive line. Look at the pocket they're forming, the job they're doing up front against a very good Houston Oilers front three. And Herschel Walker, you give the quarterback that time, and Herschel Walker that time to run his
Dallas.
Yeah, Jerry Roan's noted for bringing young quarterbacks along. He did that in Washington, he did it in San Diego, and he's doing it here in Dallas.
On 3rd and 3, Aikman has backside pressure, and he's leveled by McDowell. Bubba McDowell can play.
Wow, that's the type of things Troy Aikman's going to have to watch out for. Hey, in the NFL, especially when he's coming this way, you don't see him. Boy, that's a tough lick to take. Somebody should yell, give that lookout block.
RUZEK is 2 for 3 in the preseason. He missed from 47. This one is long enough and it's good. There is a flag. So the Dallas Cowboys are on the board.
91 defense was offside. They declined a penalty. It's a field goal, 3-point, and it's timeout.
It was Johnny throughout the season.
Well, that's not a bad, that's not a bad philosophy with the young quarterbacks.
RUZEK's kick will be taken by Johnson at the 7. Dances outside, gets a block to the 24-yard line. Jerry Glanville says if there's one thing he really wants to improve on tonight, it'll be special team play.
Well, there's a scoring drive, 8 plays, 33 yards, and of course, once again, Aikman was 3 for 4 in that drive for 32 of those yards, and time of possession all set up by the interception by middle linebacker Gene Lockhart. But the Houston Oilers were hit pretty heavy in the offseason with the free agency, the Plan B free agency. They lost 15 players. Only 2 of those players were starters, but they lost some key players off of their special teams, so they're trying to get their special teams going once again.
That was an NFL high, 15 players. They lost more than anybody else, including their starting tight end, their safety, and a lot of special team players. Big hole for White, who tries to get outside and is taken down by Ron Burton. It looked like a big hole. It closed quickly.
Yeah, Ron Burton, he's kind of got his job on the line tonight because the Cowboys are bringing all these players off the waiver wire to try to contest Ron Burton at that strong side linebacker spot. You see the handoff by White, and he's going outside all the way, but the Cowboy linebackers string it out. It's a nice job by Burton to fight off the blocker and make the tackle.
It'll be 2nd down and 9 at the 25-yard line for Warren Moon. Highsmith after the 30. Tackle was made by Willie Broughton and Eugene Lockhart.
When we think of Highsmith there, Alonzo Highsmith, we think of him as more of a pass receiver coming out of the backfield, an excellent blocker in the backfield. Jerry Glanville said that he's the best blocking back in the NFL, period. So, but we don't think much of him as a runner, but he is an excellent runner, probably one of the best all-around backs in the NFL.
Lockhart goes out of the ball game for Dallas. Kenny Norton moves to the middle. Hendricks and Francis come in as Dallas goes to 6 defensive backs. 3rd down and 4 at the 30. Be close to a 1st down. Highsmith put the ball on the ground, and the Oilers get it back. 1st down, Houston.
1st down.
Well, this is a tough situation in 3rd down and 5 with the 4 receivers in there. You think it'd pass all the way, but watch the veteran Too Tall Jones see the draw, read the draw, come back inside, and get in on the play. You see the fumble there. Luckily, Orler was there to make the recovery.
Bates knocked it loose. Pennison got it back. It'll be 1st down and 10 at the 37. Warren Moon goes up top. Incomplete. It was intended for Mike AQ. Robert Williams on the coverage.
Robert Williams has improved tremendously at the cornerback position. He ended up starting there last year because of an injury to Ron Francis, but he has been a pleasant surprise in the preseason and training camp this year. And he's got the speed in that secondary to stay with most receivers in this league, and they're going to find out that they might have to start going back on Everson Wall's side to get some pass completions.
Warren Moon now is 1 for 4, 12 yards, and 1 interception. That was the Lockhart. 7 minutes, 10 seconds remain in the 1st quarter. 2nd and 10. This ball is tipped and incomplete. Again, there was good pressure up front by the defensive front 7 of the Cowboys.
That time they brought in Tony Tolbert in a passing situation to get to the quarterback, and they put a lot of pressure on Warren Moon, and Warren Moon's off to a slow start. Pro Bowl quarterback last year. See on a replay, they got number 62, Tolbert, inside. He goes 6'6", and watch him get up on this and knock it away. Tony Tolbert from Texas El Paso.
So it'll bring up 3rd down and 10 at the 37. Harris in motion for Moon. Long count. Backside pressure, and the sack will be made by Jim Jeffcoat.
Jim Jeffcoat's 3rd sack of the preseason. He's getting after it. And this is something that Jim didn't have last year, was that pass rush. But now with the new Cowboy defense, he's getting to the quarterback. He's going against a rookie, David Williams. He just takes the inside rush. Looked like Warren Moon didn't get very deep on that, on his drop there. And that just helped Jim Jeffcoat make the sack.
Montgomery comes on to punt. He's had 15 punts in the preseason, an average of 45 yards. This is Kelvin Martin. Gets a block to the 44-yard line. 41-yard punt, a return of 14 for Kelvin Martin.
On the play.
So with 6 minutes and 29 seconds remaining in the first quarter, there's timeout on the field. We'll take one as well with the Cowboys leading the Oilers.
In the upper 40s.
So we should be thankful for 89 degrees.
Really?
Done. Stay cool.
It's about what it is up here, 105. It's hotter here than it is on the field. First down and 10, the Cowboys banging.
Against the Giants, I believe it was the 12 o'clock kickoff, and we made those guys suffer. We were suffering as well, but they were definitely not used to that type of heat.
Jimmy Johnson came into this game very upset with the practice week his Cowboys have had. Aikman fires to Irvin. There is a flag in the secondary.
All kinds of flags on that play, Tim. Free play for the Cowboys. Let's see if all the penalties are in their favor.
Looked like William Fuller jumped first. I don't know if he was drawn. Then the second flag was thrown in the secondary. It'll be against Houston.
Troy Aikman's showing a little experience there by changing up his snap count to get Fuller to jump off sides in that situation.
They're still debating the first flag.
Defense was offside. Also, defense pass interference. We're going to take the pass interference, and it's a first down.
Of course, it's worth more, right? Leroy Jordan.
First down at the 41. Aikman goes up top. And Irvin has it inside the 5 to the 2-yard line. Patrick Allen was the defensive back, but the catch was made by Irvin.
Oh my, what a catch by Michael Irvin. And what a throw by Troy Aikman to give him the opportunity to make that catch. Boy, that's one way to help a rookie quarterback. Again, look at the time Troy gets to throw that football. He throws it, he lays it on the outside. Watch where it ends up. And a nice job of concentrating by Michael Irvin, number 88.
Great adjustment.
Great adjustment, great concentration. Nice job by the Cowboy offensive line. Cowboy offense is executing to perfection at this point in the game.
A gain of 39. Steve Folsom comes in along with Thornton Chandler. 2 tight ends as the Cowboys will go now to their power offense.
Take a look at Mike.
NFL. 3 tight ends now. Folsom, Chandler, and Jennings for Dallas. First and goal at the 2. Sargent's not going to get there.
Looks like Sargent.
Keep in mind, Houston came in here last year and scored 54 points. Second and goal from the 2. Walker. And he loses yardage all the way back to the 6. The tackle made by Kenny Johnson.
Running room. Sargent gets no block. And Kenny Johnson, the former.
The run for Houston is very strong. They held LA to 37 yards rushing total. Held Miami to 29 yards. Third and goal now from the 6. Aikman. Incomplete.
Michael knows. You see him on the turf getting up there off of the turf, knowing that he should have had that football. Jimmy Johnson knows he should have had it also. Troy put it right in there. He's got to make that tough catch in the crowd. Michael Irvin looked like he took his eyes off it. Looked like he was looking for the safety. Come in and make that play, therefore he makes no catch.
Roger RUZEK on to attempt a 24-yard field goal. He has already hit one from 35. Good snap, good hold. And the Cowboys now lead 6-0. So with 4 minutes and 4 seconds remain in the first quarter from Texas Stadium.
Football game comes to the NFL. He backs up another #1 draft choice, Troy Aikman.
RUZEK's kick will be taken at the 2 by Avery. Tap dances across the 20 and will go down at the 22-yard line. Good coverage by the Dallas special teams. The tackle made by Ken Tippins.
Dallas special teams has improved greatly. They're getting guys going down there, getting after it, and making some plays. This is the way they can win spots on this roster, and I think they know it because the Cowboys have to cut down to 47 players by Tuesday.
Jimmy Johnson says he'll probably cut down more than that and pick up some people off the wire. Highsmith and Lorenzo White will be the setbacks for Warren Moon on first down at the 22. 3 minutes, 54 seconds remain in the first quarter. White in motion. Moon drills this one for a first down. And Harris is nailed. Great hit by Albritton. But a gain of 14.
Wide receiver position is a glamorous position until you get hit like this. See Warren Moon taking his pocket to the left to get more time. And he's looking for Harris all the way. And watch Albritton come in and put the touches on him. Looked like he dropped the football on that. Leonard Harris only goes 5'8", 162 pounds, and he needed all those pounds to sustain that hit.
Albritton 6'2", 214, and he knows the difference between come here and sick 'em. First down at 10 at the 36, and they'll stop play.
I think they're going to review that play.
What do they want, Harris?
Harris thinks he has time, but watch Albritton come in and just, he doesn't even see him. You see the ball come out, it definitely hits the ground there. That's why I say you might as well catch it because you're going to get hit anyway. It doesn't hurt as much if you have that football tucked under your arm.
Well, they want to make sure he had possession of the ball and had control of it when both feet came down.
No, I think that's the best angle there. Great shot on that replay. Shows that the ball did hit the ground. We're going to take that catch away from Leonard Harris. They're going to take that one away. Just like in Denver last week, right? So sure of that one.
Replay. Incomplete pass back on the 22-yard line.
So they'll move them back. The tight end situation for Houston is a problem situation. They lost Williams to Plan B free agency. Verhulst and Morosco now fighting it out for that position. Second down and 10 at the 22 for Moon. Great defensive play by Everson Walls on Kenny Jackson.
Decided to go on Everson Walls' side, leave Robert Williams alone, but Everson Walls is one of the best man-to-man covers in the National Football League. All-pro cornerback trying to unseat Mel Renfro this year as the all-time leading interceptor for the Dallas Cowboys. You see Walls all over Kenny Jackson. Kenny Jackson, a former Philadelphia Eagle, now with the Houston Oilers trying to make their roster as a wide receiver.
Warren Moon now 1 for 7, 12 yards and an interception. Dallas goes to 6 defensive backs on third down and 10. Moon has it complete to Jackson, who steps out of bounds. It'll be a Houston first down.
Moving his pocket, this time to the right, behind big number 74, all-pro Bruce Matthews, and Kenny Jackson beats Everson Walls pretty good on that route. Kenny Jackson from South River, New Jersey, same hometown as Joe Theismann from the Redskins and Drew Pearson.
Gain of 12. It'll be first down at the 34 now for Houston. They're in what they call their red formation. Big hole. And Highsmith carries it out near midfield and mark it at the 48, and it's another Oiler first down. Ray Horton made the stop. Gain of 15.
Here comes Highsmith right after you. You're the free safety. Come up and make this tackle. Ron Francis misses. Vince Albritton comes in and makes the tackle. Once Highsmith gets going, he's tough to bring down. Bruce Matthews make a key block on that play.
Highsmith comes out. It'll be first down now at the 49-yard line. Harris in motion. Moon goes underneath and bounce passes it to Harris, incomplete. Kenny Norton was out there covering. There was one thing that Jerry Glanville was saying before the ball game that I thought was very interesting. He said if the quarterbacks don't have a good night, it'll be because the receivers aren't on the same page with it. They've had so many changes at receivers that if they're not reading correctly and reading the same defenses, the same cuts, and the same moves as the quarterback, they'll have some problems.
And that's correct, because the receivers in an Oiler offense have to make the reads as well as the quarterback. I mean, they have to be on the same page. That's why they missed Ernest Gibbons and Drew Hill so much, because they were experienced receivers in that situation.
4 wideouts now for the Oilers. Ball's loose. Pinkett put it on the ground, and Norton got it for Dallas.
Watch 74 Bruce Matthews come out and make the pull. And Ray Horton comes in and strips the ball away. And that's Kenny Norton Jr., son of Kenny Norton Sr., former heavyweight champion, boxer, making the fumble recovery.
1 minute, 57 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Just got clotheslined in the booth.
Right.
First down at the 49. Aikman, with pressure from behind, throws this one incomplete. It was intended for Chandler, and they rule it incomplete. Good coverage out there by John Grimsley, the linebacker.
There was good coverage downfield. That's why Troy was looking around to see who was open to throw that football. And that time, he thought he had Thornton Chandler open, but he gets a little pressure after throwing his back foot. Therefore, the pass comes in low. You see Troy looking around, trying to find time. And there's Ray Childress coming in. Just throws it low to Thornton Chandler, but a good job by Aikman to get rid of the ball to avoid a sack.
It was a catchable pass. It'll be second down at 10 at the 49 for Aikman and the Cowboys. With time, this is Walker to the 44-yard line. John Grimsley made the stop. The Cowboys will be about 3 yards shy of the first. There is a flag. Correction, that was Sargent.
Ray Childress is a little upset.
Personal foul number 79, roughing the quarterback. That's 15, and that's a first down.
This Ray Childress telling Troy Aikman, welcome to the NFL. I said Childress is a little upset, but he's 6'6", 200.
First down at the 29 for Aikman. On play action, throws this one way out of range of anybody. Not a receiver around.
Troy. He gets nice job by Crawford Kerr to hold him out. I mean, he was holding him too. You see him look at Ben Dry saying, where's the call? Where's the call? I'm being held. Help me out.
It'll be second down and 10 from the 29. Get excited, here.
Getting ready. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Everybody jumps this time, and Aikman again is hit rather rudely, and another flag is thrown. Jeff Donaldson was coming on the safety blitz.
Donaldson is a free safety, but that's just the time that snap.
On the guard, the ball should have never been snapped. 5 yards.
They're going to keep Ben Dreyf busy all evening.
He's going to lose some weight tonight, that's for sure. See Troy barking out the signals, and he's seen number 31 come all the way. Look out, Troy. Just get down and don't get hurt on a play like that.
We've got 1 minute and 27 seconds remaining in the first quarter. 2 field goals by Dallas at 6-0, but the Cowboys are threatening again. Second down and 15 at the 34. Walker and Sargent are the setbacks. Pressure again. Aikman going up top. It's complete to the 1-yard line. Kelvin Martin, what a catch. A gain of 33.
Great catch by Kelvin Martin. He brought Michael Irvin in motion. I guess everybody thought they were going to go to him, but Kelvin Martin ends up on man-to-man coverage with Patrick Allen. And Troy just lays it out there, gives his receivers a chance to make a play. And when they get a chance, they make catches like that. Great catch by Kelvin Martin. Looked like he's in the end zone for the touchdown, but the...
No, that's a good call. He stepped on the line.
Right, looked like the official called that he stepped on the line. Here the Cowboy fans expressing their opinion of the call.
Aikman now 6 for 10, 111 yards. Keep in mind, Dallas.
Watch his feet, 1 foot. Oh, yes. That should be a touchdown.
You're right. You're right.
That should be a touchdown. Great job by Kelvin Martin. Stay in bounds. They're not giving him the 6 points. He's going to be upset about that.
That was pretty good coverage by Patrick Allen.
Patrick Allen's an excellent man-to-man cover. And there's 2 great catches by Cowboy receivers. First, Michael Irvin, and now Kelvin Martin to make great catches. It's a job by Patrick Allen doing good coverage.
First and goal at the 1. They may review it, huh?
Well, let's bring on Roger RUZEK if they review this. And in. He's in.
Should be a touchdown. You're right.
They get a 6 points on this.
Replay, look at the play. The ball is on a 1-yard line, and it's first down.
I tell you,
Cal before didn't see it the way you did.
I don't know what they're looking at.
Tight ends, power formation. Sargent and Walker on first and goal from the 1. Walker. No signal yet. It'll be second down, Cowboys.
Herschel's one of the best in the league of going up and over because he gets such great explosion. Watch him go up. He's met. Does he cross the plane? I don't know. The ball never crossed. His head did cross, but the football never got over.
Fine play by John Grimsley, the linebacker, and Kenny Johnson, the strong safety. Herschel Walker now 3 runs for -4 yards. Second and goal at the 1. Touchdown Dallas. Herschel Walker. The Cowboys are cooking.
Yeah, so far it looks like Jimmy Johnson made the right choice with his quarterbacks. You see Herschel, they're in the I formation. Most of the time they're in that I formation. It's going to be Herschel getting the handoff. That time he takes it up and over.
And get his 7th point of the night. Mike Saxon will be holding. And it's good, but there's another flag. That drive went 6 plays, 51 yards. It took only 1 minute and 38 seconds. Herschel Walker capped it with a 1-yard plunge.
79 on the defense, running to the kicker. That's a 5-yard penalty on a kickoff.
That's Childress again.
Yeah, you see Childress come in clean. Watch him just keep going. Right over Roger RUZEK. And RUZEK does a nice little act.
19 seconds remain in the first quarter from Dallas, and the Cowboys lead 13-0 for Houston. It's a high kick that'll take Avery 4.5 yards back in his end zone. He'll down it on the C and the letter C and the word Cowboys, and they'll bring it out to the 20.
It was a scoring drive, Tim. 6 plays, 51 yards, 1 minute 38 seconds. Herschel Walker takes it over the top. 6 points and a 13-0 lead for the Cowboys.
It's been an interesting preseason, Drew, for the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of changes, and they've been very aggressive.
It certainly has. They're coming out of this preseason not looking like a team that finished 3-13 as they did last year. So it's been positive for them, and I'm sure Jimmy Johnson's going to continue to get players in here that fit his style, and we're going to see continuous change with the Dallas Cowboys.
Warren Moon has struggled to this point. This is Highsmith. Out to the 24-yard line. The tackle made there by Eugene Lockhart. And that should be the last play of the quarter. It is. So 15 minutes are gone. The Dallas Cowboys have been strong to this point. It's 13-0 Dallas. And we'll be back.
But one thing's for certain, Houston hasn't turned loose of it since they found it.
can tell you this, Becky. Lorenzo White turned loose of the football, and Ron Burton tagged him for it.
Yeah, Burton had the coverage man-to-man all the way, and just kind of put something on Lorenzo White, kind of get Lorenzo loosened up for this one. If he didn't have a wake-up call, he certainly has one now.
The Oilers were 10-6 last year, beat Cleveland in the playoffs, then lost to Buffalo. They're 2-1 in the preseason, having lost to Tampa Bay, but beat Miami and the Raiders. 2nd down and 10 for Warren Moon. Drills this one across the middle, and it's broken up. Fine coverage by Ron Francis.
There's the first quarter stats, Tim. The time of possession is pretty equal there, but the key in this situation in the first quarter has been the first downs, and that keeps the drive going. The Cowboys have not been able to run the football, but Troy Aikman, 102 yards passing the football in the first quarter, has been the difference.
2 big passes, one to Irvin and one to Martin, set up scores. Meanwhile, Warren Moon continues to struggle. He's 2 for 11. Montgomery's punt is a tail wagger. That'll be taken by Kelvin Martin at the 34. Nice cut, and a lunge forward takes it across the 45-yard line. So a 42-yard punt and a 10-yard return. Cowboys have started their drives on their own 49, their own 44, the 49, and the 45. So they've had excellent field position, and they've capitalized with 13 points. Johnson and Kevin Scott are in the ball game now. Aikman going up top. This is Irvin. With a 15-yard line. Michael Irvin.
Boy, Troy Aikman took a shot on the plays. 2 great plays here. First, watch the quarterback, Aikman. He gets hit by Bubba McDowell on the play. Gets the ball up, but he hangs it up there. And Michael Irvin's able to see it, come back, make the reception, and Richard Johnson, former #1 draft choice, makes the tackle for the Oilers. But watch Aikman. He gets hit right here, and that just gets the ball fluttering out there. But Michael Irvin's able to see it, put the brakes on, come back. Another job, great job of concentration by Michael Irvin.
A gain of 38. Aikman double pumps, goes to the corner. No, out of bounds. Again, it was Irvin.
Didn't get in on this play, but it's great to see Michael Irvin going up for the football like that and coming down with it and making great plays like that. Because when you have a rookie quarterback, in there like Aikman, the receivers have to make plays for him. They have to get his confidence up. And Michael Irvin's doing that on that reception there, but too bad it didn't count.
2nd down and 10 at the 15 for the Cowboys. Scott to the 11. Kevin Scott is a 2nd-year veteran out of Stanford, while the Oilers will play Minnesota. 6 defensive backs now for Houston on 3rd down and 6. Out of the shotgun. Aikman drills it in the direction of Martin, but it was broken up.
But the ball was tipped. Nice play by Patrick Allen to avoid the reception by the Cowboys. Roger RUZEK getting another opportunity. He's getting a lot of points tonight.
A 29-yard attempt. He's already hit from 35 and 24. And this one's no good. He shanked it to the left.
Aikman's finding that out.
1st down at the 20 for Houston. Lorenzo White gets a couple of tough yards. White's had a great preseason. He's led the team in rushing all 3 preseason games. Came in tonight with 122 yards on 22 carries and an average of 5.5 yards per carry.
Yeah, he's an excellent back. He's a good cutback runner. Nice receiver coming out of the backfield. The only problem, he can't get any playing time because they have so many #1 draft choices at the running back position.
I got on the last.
See the Cowboy offense on the sideline. David Shula giving some instructions to his players, trying to get that ball in the end zone when they get in the scoring territory.
2nd down and 8 for Moon. Has the completion. Harris breaks a tackle, looks for a block. To the 37-yard line. Leonard Harris. Gain of 15. Lockhart and Albritton made the tackle.
Nice play by Leonard Harris from Texas Tech, a fourth-year player. See Warren Moon get some time to throw the football and finds a secondary receiver, Harris. What Kenny Norton's got to do is he's got to break down because he's got a little quick receiver out there. He's going to try to give him a move. He's got to break down in that situation to make the play to avoid the big gain.
Clock continues to roll, under 12 minutes to play in the first half. Alan Pinkett in the ball game now as the tailback. This is Pinkett. And he runs right into Jim Jeffcoat.
Tim, the Oilers are having trouble running the football tonight. That's a good sign for the kid to go. He better get it together.
I got the impression today, talking to Jimmy Johnson, that he was not happy with anybody right now on his team after this week's practice. Broke camp, came back to Dallas. He didn't know if it was the heat or breaking camp or what it was that affected the players. Almost intercepted by Albritton. But it went right through the hands of Curtis Duncan.
Well, you'd love to make the interception here, but if you can't make that interception, the next best thing is make that receiver pay for it. Warren Moon puts it right there. Watch Duncan drop the ball. Like I said, you might as well catch it because you're going to get hit anyway. Nice job by Albritton.
Warren Moon really struggling. 3 for 13, 39 yards and an interception. Now he's faced with 3rd and 10 from the 37. Cowboys show a 2-deep zone. Moon across the middle, and it's complete. Kenny Jackson has it into Dallas territory. They'll mark it at the 46. The tackle made by Vince Albritton. Earning that money tonight. First down at the 46 for Warren Moon. This play's dead. Highsmith is hit anyway. They were blowing the whistles. I didn't see the flags. Bruce Matthews may have jumped, the right guard. That's Matthews.
To Highsmith on the play. The Oilers like to run that play, kind of mix up things in that when they get in that shotgun formation, but that time Bruce Matthews just was a little ahead of the snap count.
So it'll be 1st and 15 at the 49 now for Warren Moon. Harris in motion. Again, it's a long count as they audibilize. Backside pressure. Jeffcoat couldn't hold on. They go deep to Harris, and it's complete to the 3-yard line. Leonard Harris, but how many times does this happen in a football game where a quarterback almost gets sacked, but gets it just a little more time and just lays it out there? And watch this great catch by Leonard Harris. He only goes 5'8", 162, but he really got up on that play. Jeffcoat's coming from the right. You see that? He gets a hand on Warren Moon, but the strength of Warren Moon avoids the sack. And he still has enough to get the ball downfield for a 48-yard gain for the Oilers. 1st and goal from the 3. White. Ball's loose. Looks like White came up with it. Still no signal. A lot of confusion. White was the ball carrier, and he came out of the pile with the football.
I think the refs know who recovered that fumble.
You can tell the fans know.
That's what you got to do against the Oilers. When you get those opportunities to score on them in the plus territory, you got to take advantage of that. Because this game is only 13-0, and the Oilers are getting an opportunity to tighten that up. So when you get the opportunity to score in the Oilers, you better score. But they're never out of a football game. It's a touchdown.
Recovered the football in the end zone. That's a first down, not 4th down fumble rule.
So it's not the 4th down fumble rule. 1st down. Touchdown, Houston.
See White take the handoff. He's getting a nice hold there. No reaction from the linebacker, the Cowboy linebackers. There's nowhere to be found on that running play inside the 5-yard line. Great job of blocking by Bruce Matthews and Dean Steinkühler. The ball was stripped away by number 56, Gene Lockhart, but no reaction from the rest of the linebackers to come in and recover that fumble.
And again, there are flags.
Oilers, because this is a situation they work on in practice. If you bobble the snap, you got no play. This is the reaction, and Meade, nice job by Meade to react and get out in the flat and give him the thrill of his NFL career.
This is taken by Cornell Burbage. Gets out to the 20-yard line.
Cornell Burbage, return out to the 20-yard line.
And if you're just joining us, 2 Houston turnovers. Warren Moon struggling, 5 for 15. They've had a fumble, and Warren Moon threw an interception to Lockhart. And then RUZEK with a couple of field goals. Herschel Walker with a 1-yard plunge. And then the touchdown just now by Lorenzo White of Houston. And that's where we are with 8:10 remaining in the half. 13-7, Dallas. Tim Brandt and Drew Pearson with you. Troy Aikman is the quarterback. It's first down at the 20. Scott gets back to the line of scrimmage, not much more.
Tim, the Cowboys are starting to substitute a little. You see Kevin Scott in there for Herschel Walker. Offensive line now, they got Mark Stepnowski, Jeff Zimmerman, Ricky Sigler in there. Changing up things a little bit, trying to give these backup people a chance to play while the starters get some oxygen on the sideline, get some rest as well.
Johnston comes into the ball game at fullback. Kevin Scott is the tailback. Aikman underneath to Johnston, and they'll get about 2.
His chin, as we see Aikman's numbers, 152 yards in the first half so far.
7 defensive backs for the Oilers on 3rd down and 8. Aikman goes to Martin. Has the first down, out to the 38. Tackle made there by Patrick Allen.
Avoid the rush, give his receivers time to come open. There's Martin running the crossing route, and he's been the Cowboys' top receiver so far in the preseason and in training camp, and looking good again tonight. Nice spat job, I like that.
First down at the 39. Jimmy Johnson said he wanted to open it up a little bit more, use his tight ends, run more effectively. Those were the goals coming in. That intended for Scott, incomplete. I think basically he's looking. 2nd down and 10 for the Cowboys. Flags fly. The sack will be negated. I believe Houston came across too quickly. Sean Jones was the man that got Aikman. We'll see if they came across too early.
Jones should make this sack. I mean, he's got a nice jump on everybody, and he gets Aikman before he can even set up on the play.
It's 5 yards, and it's 2nd down.
Aikman 9 for 16, 169 yards. Scott.
Kevin Scott
to the 45-yard line. A gain of 2.
Board, SMU is going to have a long year. They got a lot of freshmen playing. It's going to take a while for them to get their program back to Southwest Conference football level.
3rd down and a long 3. First down. Great move. Martin all the way down inside the 35, close to the 30.
Well, you know, the Cowboys are saying they don't have a fast receiver to stretch the defense, but they certainly have a quick receiver. And there he is, Kelvin Martin. Watch this move here. He avoids Patrick Allen and takes it upfield. Sometimes you don't need that flat-out speed, and a lot of times quickness will prevail in situations especially like that. Kelvin Martin, 3 catches for 69 yards in the first half. They're going to tack on some more yards, I guess, with piling on. And that's Houston's style of play. They're the most penalized team in the NFL last year.
That'll take it all the way down to the 20.
Troy Aikman gets nice time to throw it. Good job by Kelvin Martin to make something happen after the catch. And watch number 71 come into your picture, Richard Byrd. Falls on that little Kelvin Martin, and the ref saw it all the way.
That's 7 penalties for 65 yards for the Oilers. First down at the 20. Johnston. Not much. Richard Byrd, who's playing with an injured foot, made the stop.
I'm sure Jerry Glanville is going to have some things to say to his players at halftime.
Well, you made the point. They lost an NFL high, 15 players to free agency. Burbage to the 10. And Aikman just threw a strike. Look at Burbage.
Cornell Burbage doing a little cheerleading. He's a very excitable type football player and has made some great catches for the Cowboys in the preseason. Going to solidify his job as the third receiver for the Cowboys. See Richard Johnson bulldogs Burbage down, but Burbage doesn't care because he made the catch. I told you, when you make the catch, it never hurts.
They're trying to get a different 3rd down and 1. Aikman comes back in with the play. Johnston and Clack are the setbacks. Aikman. Down Cowboys. Richard Johnson's chased him out, but Aikman dove past the marker for the first.
Well, the Cowboys ran this naked bootleg earlier.
He's got good speed.
Oh, he's real fast. But he ran that bootleg earlier in the preseason, got big yardage out of it, but that time it was just designed to get the first down. Richard Johnson read it all the way, but a nice job, Troy Aikman showing his athletic ability on the play to get enough for the first down.
First down at 10. At the 10. Actually, it's first and goal. This is inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. John Grimsley tripped him up. His touchdown opportunities earlier. Aikman. Ball's loose. Johnson gets it back. Again, it was Bubba McDowell. And he really makes things happen.
Boy, he's going for that starting job. They lost Keith Bostic, their starting safety, strong safety, to Plan B free agency. And it's a great job by Darryl Johnson to get this football back. Watch the strip there. And Darryl Johnson gets the bounce and able to get the ball back, Tim.
It's the 2-minute warning. First half. 3rd down and goal at the 7. Aikman has the blitz coming. Throws complete. Touchdown, Herschel Walker. So Herschel Walker gets his 2nd touchdown of the night.
Troy Aikman does a good job on this. See the blitz coming. Number 21, Eaton, coming right up the middle, but gets it out to Herschel. You can't arm tackle Herschel Walker. He runs through that like those guys weren't even there. It's a great job by the Cowboys to get the ball in the end zone for a touchdown on that 3rd and 7 situation.
Roger RUZEK on for the extra point. And it's good. So the Dallas Cowboys now extend their lead to 20-7. Excitement in Dallas.
Looks like the heat is not affecting the Cowboys as much as it's affecting the Houston Oilers.
RUZEK's kick. Emery drops the ball. And they're going to down it at the 1. The Cowboys wanted a safety. Oh, my. Terrible mistake by the Oilers.
It looked like Emery wanted to go back into the end zone with that ball, but when you fumble it like that in the end zone and it comes out to the playing field, you got to take it from there. It looks like he wants to go back. Watch. He starts to go back into the end zone. He says, oh, no, I'll change my mind. And number 82, Cornell Burbage, is down there hustling on the play to make the tackle.
This is not the same Oilers team that went to the AFC Championship game against Buffalo last year.
And it's not the type of play you want to make if you're trying to make this Oilers football team.
Tough day for Jerry Glanville. 1:51 remaining in the half. From his own end zone, Moon to Duncan. Correction, it's Jackson, and he's out to the 11. Tackle made there by Lockhart.
Eugene Lockhart on the stop for the Cowboys.
Houston in the hurry-up.
Houston does have 3 timeouts as the clock ticks down. Warren Moon still struggling.
Moon with time this play, and he has it incomplete to Rob. Look good in the second half, but Bobby Hebert, the starting quarterback, really struggled.
It could be a good time for the Cowboys to catch the Saints first game of the season before they get on track.
It would have been better to catch him last night. Moon takes it out to the 14-yard line. Jerry came in with a lot of controversy, a lot of debate, but he's done a nice job marketing this team. And Warren Moon goes down, sacked by Danny Noonan.
Boy, Danny Noonan came out of nowhere on that one. I think Warren Moon thought he had time, but watch Danny Noonan come into your picture. He just flies in there and beats Bruce Matthews on the play. Bruce Matthews is certainly no slouch. Danny Noonan had a sack last week, so that gives him 2 sacks in the preseason.
A loss of 9. That's the Cowboys' second sack tonight. Noonan recovering from a groin injury. Last year he had a hip flexor and a cyst on his knee, so he struggled a little bit with some nagging injuries. Montgomery standing all the way back by the back line in the end zone. Kelvin Martin standing at his own 42-yard line. Montgomery's 3rd punt of the night. It's a high spiraling punt that'll take Martin all the way back to the 38-yard line.
Tim, I don't understand the fair catch by Martin on that play. He's got time. He's got to get as many yards as he can get.
Expecting Aikman to throw. He's got 4 wideouts. Aikman steps up into the pocket, throws this one complete to Herschel Walker. There is a flag. Walker has it at the 45-yard line. They mark it the 46. Tackle made by Robert. And it's against Houston. That'll be
on a defense. They're going to take the 5-yard penalty, and that's a first down.
The hottest item in the stadium for the fans is a fan this game, and the Cowboys are taking advantage of a flat Oiler football team. But this is a great test for the Cowboys, and they're responding.
Houston's usually very strong in the preseason. They won 7 of their last 8 preseason games going back in time. This is Walker straight ahead across the field to the 36-yard line. Herschel Walker. McDowell and Allen finally trip him up. He was almost gone.
Nice call by David Shula on the sideline to come with a draw play in this situation. And you give it back like Herschel Walker a little room, and he's going to make some big yardage. The elusive Herschel Walker, the new Herschel Walker. Not running over tacklers, but trying to avoid the tacklers.
He's felt trimmed down.
We'll see a shot from the end zone behind the Cowboy offensive line. See some great blocks by Dave Wydell. Zimmerman hustling downfield, trying to get somebody, and the rest is all Herschel Walker. Great balance.
Cowboys have taken it. First down at the 35. Out of the shotgun. Aikman going deep. Martin to the 2-yard line. There is a flag.
And a fight. Sean Jones, who's he got on the bottom there?
Looked like the Granby roll. A little bit of wrestling.
Looks like wrestling here at Texas Stadium tonight. I wonder if the Von Erichs are here. They'd enjoy this.
I think his hand is caught in his face mask.
Well, that's Dave White.
Holding on number 25. Offensive pass interference on number 87. Those two guys fighting. We're going to wipe it off, and it's going to be a replay.
All right, Ben.
So it will be first down at the 35.
Aikman's going to give Martin a chance by laying the ball up. Martin's going to come down. He's in the zone. He's between two Oiler defenders and makes a great catch.
That was Eaton and Allen.
He beats Allen on the play. Watch this concentration. Great job by Kelvin Martin. Aim for a play. An athletic play like that to be called back.
So they'll line up and do it all over again. Backside pressure and the sack from Patrick Allen.
Cornerback right there. Patrick Allen's coming right at Troy. He doesn't suspect him coming at all. And there's the sack. There's the sack. Allen a few times, 8 times for 70 yards.
7 defensive backs now for Houston. 2nd and 18, and again Aikman's in trouble. And goes down at the 42. Ray Childress tracked him down. You see the clock continue to move.
Cowboys have no timeouts. That's why they're hurrying to the line, trying to get a play call.
And they stop it with the clock play where he just downs the football. That'll stop it with 6. Sacks in the hole. Short and to the left. And that'll do it. If he had made that, this place would have erupted. So at the end of the first half, the Cowboys lead the Houston Oilers 20-7. And the Oilers really struggled. Right now, let's go down to Becky Dixon. Becky?
All right, thank you very much, Jim. Coach, your team did not have a good week in practice, but they're obviously responding well here tonight, capitalizing on Houston's mistake.
Well, I tell you, having a packed house here at Texas Stadium, I think it's causing our guys to respond in a positive manner. The penalties haven't hurt us, kept us from getting more points, but I'm happy the way they're playing.
Troy Aikman responding well to being named starter, but your objective again tonight to evaluate all players. Who else have you liked?
Well, you know, I like all of them right now because we're ahead, and we'll substitute freely here this second half and take an evaluation of everybody.
All right, Jimmy, thank you, and best of luck in the second half.
It seems like Ed Jones has been a Dallas Cowboy forever. For 15 seasons, Ed has been a driving force on the Cowboy defense. As he begins his 16th year, this 38-year-old is playing a whole lot younger.
He is such an amazing athlete in that he's got tremendous stamina at 38 years old. He's a physical football player. He's very aggressive. He's very businesslike, and he has tremendous stamina.
We still got 3 stragglers, but don't tell me I might have to run back here with Nate.
The new Dallas coaching staff has brought with it a new defensive philosophy. For Ed, adapting to a new system was not hard.
I like the fact that it's an aggressive style, you know, a get after them type defense rather than sitting back reading like I've done for several years now, even though we were very successful with the way we played years ago. But I guess if you're going to make a change, it's something that a lot of the guys around here have looked forward to and have wanted it for a long time, and I personally feel that we have the personnel here to play that style defense.
Jones is now the oldest starting player in the NFL. To keep himself motivated, Ed is fed off his own enthusiasm for the game. He also sees that same enthusiasm in Coach Jimmy Johnson and his staff.
He and his coaching staff work very hard. They put a lot of time into it, and everything he does is in a positive way. And I think if you're going to make a coaching change, the bottom line is, first of all, the players have to respect the head coach. They have to respect his system. and in order to work hard for him. And from day one around here, everything's been very positive, and everybody had worked extremely hard. And if hard work is in the indication that you're going to win some ball games, then we're going to win a lot of ball games.
With new energy and spirit surrounding him, Ed Jones will not talk of retiring and thinks only about the present.
Ed's not saying how long I plan to play. I'm only concerned with this year. I want to have the best year I possibly can. And if I can go out and perform to the best of my ability, I think it's going to help Dallas turn things around a lot sooner. I just have to let next year take care of itself.